Hi friends, we'll understand about IntVar or integer variables what we are using in our Tkinter window. So we'll learn how to declare a variable and how to read the data, how to set the data, and how we'll trigger events when using IntVar. We use int variable to store integer values. So let's understand how to declare it. R underscore V equal to, this is the variable name I am giving, and R I am using because radio buttons will be using in our examples. So tk dot we are going for int var. So by default nothing is to no parameter is required, but it takes three parameters. So what first one is master, which window it is associated, is a top level or a thing, but by default it takes the parent window. So okay, we'll specify now, but not necessary because we are using one only. Now what should be the, it's a master, what should be the value when you are creating it? We can assign the value here. I am just assigning it 5, and another one is the name of the variable internal what you will be using. So this is a, you will not be using much, so like this you can declare it. Let's remove this one, and these two will be keeping this. So you just note that we have already given one value here. So now let's go and use it in our radio buttons. So let's first start with a R1 or radio button 1, tk dot radio button, where it is my underscore w, it's my parent window at line number 2. You can see that. Now radio button I have given. Now we'll say text. What text will write? We'll write 1. Now what is the value? This value, when the radio button is selected, that value will be associated with that. So we'll say value equal to, value equal to 1, then variable. What is the variable? Here we'll connect our int variable r1v we have connected. Slightly bigger font will give font equal to, let's say 20. So we'll place it on the grid. So r1 dot grid. Now where it will be the first element. So let's give the row equal to 0, column equal to 0. Now slightly pad x 15. Now we'll give pad y. So we are not flushing with the left edge. From the top edge also we are giving the of pad y of 15. So R1 we have placed. Now let's just go and place one more. We'll just copy this, placed it here. One more, we'll go for 3. So I am just placing it once more. So let me just move up a bit, R1. So now I'll give this as R2. So grid also it should be R2. Now here this is 2. Value is, again I'll change it to 2. Variable, rest of the things remain same. Row 0, column here, when I am coming column 1, let the pad x be there, pad y let it be there. R2, after R2 let me put the radio button, third radio button. 3 radio buttons I am using, 3, and column should be 0 1 at the right of it. So I am giving 2 to this. Now let me, here pad x is not required because little gap will be more. Let's just see how this works. R3. So let's check our window now. Nothing to use the, we are not used our int var here. Okay, 1 2 3, these three radio buttons are displayed. Let's place a label here so we can display what are the user has selected. So we'll say L1 equal to tk dot label, and we'll place it in the parent window, my underscore w. Text is, we'll say output, and slightly bigger font we'll use 22, and BG or the background color we are giving is yellow. Now let's place it on our grid, L1 dot grid. So row is next row, so row 1, because the radio buttons are in row 0. So we'll say column equal to, now let's put it 0, but what you will give is, will give more column span. Column span equal to 3, because let it span for the cover all the radio buttons. We'll just see this, how this looks. Here it is, the output is here. So okay, we'll just add one sticky option also. Sticky is east west. Let's see how this, our purpose is to keep it at the center. Okay, fine. So let it span all those three, and now this is here we'll replace whatever we select the radio button, the corresponding value will put it in our radio button. Here something wrong I did in the radio buttons. R3 value, okay, value here should be 3 here because that should be unique. So first one radio button value is 1, 2, 3. Let's understand how we'll set a initial value for this one. We have given this value here, but subsequently in our program also we may have to change it and set the value. So for that purpose, let's remove these two optional values here, and now we'll set the value. So we'll say r underscore v equal to, sorry, should be set value is equal to 3. Now what happens is once they get the variable 3, so we'll find that here you can see the third radio button where value is 3, so it matches. So this radio button will be by default will be selected. Let's just see this. You can see here, sorry, here 1, 2, 3. Okay, here the text I have not changed it. This is the third one, so I'll say 3. Okay, so let's just check again. So here by default the third one is selected. Now let me just change it to 2. So I can see that this value by default the second radio button is selected. So you can see here this, I can change it to anything, not a problem, but by default it selects to our 2. We'll now we'll read the value, and once the radio button is selected, accordingly the variable associated with that will be displayed. So let's just come to here, here is our label. So below that we'll write one trace method. So we'll say r underscore v, this is our int variable. Now we'll saying trace method. What this trace method, this takes 3 parameters. Two parameters it takes. What is the state of it? So we are using w. What are the other things? Whenever you can read the value or when the variable is changes, then w will be triggered. Other options are r and u. U means undefined, and when it is the value is read. So the most frequently the w or the change method is used. So whenever this value changes, this triggers a callback function myupd. So this is the function. So far we have not defined the function. Let's define it now. I'll just move up a bit here. Define myupd, and I will receive all the arguments. So let me inside this I will put the how I will change the read the value of the integer variable whatever I have used, and then set the value to the L1. So I'll say L1.config. Now here which parameter I am changing? I am changing my label's text parameter. So text will be, now it will get all the new value, what it is, what the user has radio button value r underscore v. So this, but there is an issue because r underscore v is a integer. So here we are assigning it with a string. So for that what you will be doing is we'll converting into a string variable here, and then assigned it to that L1 config text str r under, sorry, here what I will do again, I will see get, because first I will read the integer variable get method to read the value because it's an integer. That is why I am converting into a string, and then I am associating with the text option of the L1 by using config method. So this, okay, this line, if it is more confusing, then you can break it up to one more line. Here you can write it also, my data equal to, let's say, r underscore v dot get. Fine. Now I will just, that I am receiving it, so I can use this inside this my data. Fine. So this will be more clear to you, but my data directly I cannot associate with that, because that's why I am converting into a string, a integer converting to a string and then displaying. Now let's just see, because of this trace method, it will, moment I change this value to something else, it changes. Now let's just see. You see this 3, this 2, this is 1. But you may ask me while opening why this value is not reflecting, because that time I am not calling the myUpdate function. Now let me just call that myUpdate when the window is opening first time. So I'll just call this myUpdate, that's all. Now once I call it, it reads the value there. So let's just see whether that works or not. You can see here, see the value is 2 now. That's all. I can change it again to 3, again to 1, whatever I am doing, it will reflect there. That's all. This is how the int variable works. Next we'll move to our boolean variable, or where you will keep true or false only, and how that can be associated with different widgets or components. And main advantage is it triggers the event. That's why it's widely used inside Tkinter. So I'll request you, if you have any doubt or suggestion or questions, use the comment section below to post it, and please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you'll be notified as and when we add new tutorials. We frequently do that also. Please share this with your friends, and thank you for watching.